Have you ever wondered what led to the birth of the theory of evolution? Our story begins in the early 19th century with the birth of Charles Darwin in Shrewsbury, England. Born into a family that valued intellectual pursuits, Darwin's fascination with nature and exploration was nurtured from a tender age. Little did he know his youthful curiosity would one day lead him to formulate a theory that would revolutionize our understanding of life itself. A young boy with a curious mind, Charles Darwin had no idea he was destined to change the scientific world. Can you imagine spending 5 years on a ship exploring the unknown? Charles Darwin didn't just imagine it, he lived it. In December of 1831, he embarked on a voyage that would not only shape his life but alter the course of scientific understanding forever. The ship, the HMS Beagle, was not a luxury liner. It was a 10-gun brig sloop of the British Royal Navy, intended for hydrographic surveying. Darwin was the ship's naturalist, tasked with observing and collecting samples of flora, fauna, and geological formations. The voyage took him across the world, from the Cape Verde Islands to New Zealand, but it was the stop at the Galapagos Islands that proved most significant. There, Darwin encountered an astonishing variety of species, many of which were found nowhere else on Earth. Among his most profound observations were the finches scattered across the islands. Despite their similar size and color, he noticed subtle differences in their beaks. Some were pointed for catching insects, others broad for cracking nuts, and still others elongated for reaching nectar. Darwin began to theorize that these birds had once been of the same species, but had adapted to their specific environments over generations. This observation was crucial. It was the seed that would blossom into the theory of natural selection. The idea that organisms adapt to their environment, and those better adapted are more likely to survive and pass on their traits to successive generations. But it wasn't just the finches. Darwin noticed similar patterns in other species on the islands, like the giant tortoises. Each island had its distinct tortoise species, with shell shapes and sizes that differed according to their specific habitats. It wasn't an easy journey. Darwin battled seasickness, homesickness, and often trekked through harsh landscapes. Yet, the voyage of the Beagle was transformative. It was a crucible in which a curious naturalist was shaped into a revolutionary scientist. This voyage was not just a physical journey, but a journey of the mind, sparking ideas that would revolutionize our understanding of life. What if you had an idea so revolutionary it could shake the very foundations of our understanding? This was the reality for Charles Darwin after his enlightening voyage on the Beagle. Upon his return, Darwin was gripped by an idea that had started as a seed during his travels. This idea, which we now know as the theory of evolution, proposed that all species of life have descended over time from common ancestors. But how did this revolutionary concept take shape? After his voyage, Darwin wasn't just grappling with this groundbreaking theory, he was wrestling with his health too. Struck by bouts of illness, his physical struggles, however, did not deter his intellectual pursuits. Instead, they gave him time to ponder, to question, and to piece together the intricate puzzle of life's diversity. His theory of evolution was not something he rushed. Darwin was a meticulous researcher. He studied plant and animal species, examining their similarities and differences. He observed, recorded, and collected evidence for over 2 decades. It was this dedication to detail that led him to formulate another concept: natural selection. This was the process by which species adapt to their environment, with the best adapted surviving to pass on their traits to the next generation. But the road to publication was not smooth. Darwin knew that his ideas would be controversial. They conflicted with the religious beliefs of his day, which held that all species were created separately and remained unchanging since creation. It was a bold move to challenge such deeply ingrained beliefs. Nevertheless, in 1859, Darwin published On the Origin of Species. This book laid out his theories of evolution and natural selection, backed by years of painstaking research. It was met with both outrage and acclaim, but it was impossible to ignore. With the publication of On the Origin of Species, Charles Darwin challenged the conventional wisdom of his time, setting the stage for a new era of scientific thought. Despite the controversies, his work laid the foundation for our modern understanding of biology, forever changing the way we perceive the world around us. What does it mean to leave a legacy that continues to influence generations? This question brings us to the indelible footprint of Charles Darwin. His theories, though controversial during his time, have become cornerstones of modern biology and genetics. Darwin's most notable contribution, the theory of evolution by natural selection, revolutionized the way we understand the natural world. It suggested that species are not static but dynamic, constantly adapting and evolving over time. This was a radical departure from the prevailing thought of his era, and it sparked a scientific revolution. His other significant contribution is his work on the theory of sexual selection, which explains how certain traits can enhance an organism's reproductive success. This theory provides a comprehensive understanding of biodiversity, and it continues to shape research in fields ranging from anthropology to zoology. In 1882, Darwin passed away, but his legacy lives on. His theories remain central to our understanding of life on Earth, from the smallest microorganism to the largest mammal. His work has been built upon by countless scientists and researchers, expanding and refining our knowledge of the natural world. It's important to remember that Darwin was not just a scientist, but a man of curiosity and courage. He dared to question the status quo, to venture into uncharted territories of thought, and his contributions continue to enlighten us to this day. Charles Darwin, a man who dared to question, to explore, and in doing so, forever changed our understanding of life on Earth.